Beta notes are up if you care. Oh, let's check that out. I mean, wait, there's not gonna be beta. Are you trolling me? Oh, wait, you're not trolling me. There is actually beta notes. Interesting. All right, that'll be a nice way to end the stream. Let's just read things got buffed by %. Yep, that's what we're seeing here. All right. Wait, am I reading an old thing? I am. Wait, no. Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot. All right, here we go. Deathbringer buffs. Rider of the Apocalypse, Nazgrim nerf, Sandlane buff, blood damage increased by 10% flat. Bone Storm now consumes up to 5 Bone Shield charges, was 10, so it doesn't your Bone Storm or your Bone Shield. And now it lasts 2 seconds per Bone Shield charge spent, was 1. That's just a straight up quality of life buff. Frost Glacial Advanced GCD now reduced by haste. Frost Scythe now reduced by haste. Frost Strike damage increased by 8%, a blip by 8, breath by 12. Shattered Frost now does 60. And they nerf Shattered Frost, okay? Oh, no more insta Dancing Rune weapon. You lose Dancing Rune. Oh, yeah, because it's consuming. I see. Yeah. So is that a nerf? Is the Bone Storm thing a nerf then? I imagine it's not as I don't know how annoying it was to set up. I feel like it's not exclusively a nerf. It's probably closer to the middle. You're losing 25 seconds of CDR every minute. Oh, okay. That sounds pretty big. Okay, Frost. We already read that. Unholy Raise A-Bomb now costs 1 rune to summon. Oh, like the army thing? Okay, interesting. An issue with Unholy Blight applying Virulent Plague to the player's current target instead of enemies in proximity has been resolved. Demon Hunter, Eldrachi Reaver, changes, Fellscarred, nerfs. Oh no, some buffs, some nerfs. Havoc, I-Beam damage straight up doubled. The Immo Aura refund chance nerfed back to what it was at the beginning of Season 3 before they nerfed it. Or, I guess, buffed back to that point. An issue with the final damage of Blade Dance double dipping into Nerebar Palace 2 set has been fixed. Okay. And then Vengeance damage buffed by 15%. So tank damage buffs looks like maybe across the board. Not for Guardian, it appears. Okay. Heroes of the Club, whatever. Bunch of balance changes to all the hero talents. Not surprising. Balanced Druid buffed by 6%. Buffed Force of Nature. Buffed a lot of things. Everything is buffed. No nerfs. All buffs across the board. And also, they updated their tier set bonus. They buffed their 2-piece, and they more than doubled the power of their 4-piece. Feral. Melee auto attack damage increase. Okay, so just feral buffs across the board. Okay. Guardian. Oh, here we go. Melee auto attack and all bear ability damage increased by 20%. So there are tank damage buffs across the board. Moonfire damage reduced by 15%. And Twin Moonfire by 8. Okay, so they wanted to nerf the damage you were getting from that hero talent tree and giving you more base damage. Resto, bunch of changes, healer stuff. Evokers. Hero talents. Flame Shaper. Okay, whatever. Aug. Oh! Wait a second. Wait, closest clutchmates being gone? Is that just... That's ripping... That's rip, right? That is fucking crazy. Wait, okay, I know they nerfed closest clutchmates before, but what is it currently? What is closest clutchmates? Like, what's the actual numbers right now? 10%? Is it 10% to each DPS, or is it... I need the actual wording on it. 1 second. Close as clutchmates. I want to read the tooltip. Ebon Might and Breath of Eons are 10% more effective when not in a raid. So, okay, so it's literally 10%. So they're just 10% better in dungeons than they are in raid. Wow, okay. This is really interesting. So they just straight up nerfed Ebon Might by, what, 20%, it looks like, just in general. And then they also removed closest clutchmates. Man, 2 thoughts. Number 1, I don't think you're going to play these in dungeons anymore. Number 2, if you do still play these in dungeons, you're going to feel so bad about it. And this might make them not good in raid. But this is really interesting, though. This is... We were talking about how augmentation is designed. And it's like, if you're making augmentation for the everyman... The everyman is not optimizing aug, so they need to be powerful for that person because that's who it is made for. Therefore, they're always insane when you optimize it. But by nerfing it, that's kind of making them bad for the people it's made for. It's just really interesting. But, I mean, as a top player, I'm certainly not complaining. So, maybe I'm missing some other changes here. Okay. Cool. All right, Hunter. An issue with ghillie suit on activating. Hunters have a ghillie suit? All right, Dark Ranger changes. BM nerfs, survival nerfs and buffs, mage hero talents changes, arcane looks like some buffs, some nerfs, some fixes. Some buffs, some nerfs for fire. Scorch buff, but it looks like everything else was nerfed. Frost, Ray of Frost buff. Death Chill bonus decreased, but increased its stack count. Bro, is Death Chill the thing where you just spam Frostbolt, by the way? Because when I saw they were bringing that back, that sounded so fucking dog shit. But I don't play Mage, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But the idea of, like, when I've played a lot of Frost Mage, and I did like 1,000,000 challenge mode carries on them. The only time Frost Mage feels bad is when you are just spamming Frostbolt, by the way. So making an entire part of the spec where you're incentivized to do that is fucking wild to me. Death Chill got nerfed. All right, well, if you don't play it, then that's good, I guess. Celestial Conduit healing reduced. Inner Compass now increases secondaries by 2 was 3. Temple Training increases the healing of Vivify. Okay, so mainly healer changes, I think, with Inner Compass. Okay, that's fine. Brewmaster, again, tank damage buffs across the board. And I would just like to say, the closer tank's damage gets to DPS, the better. Not like it shouldn't be the same amount, but I would almost argue up to like 90%. It should always just be more rather than less. Mistweaver changes Windwalker. All right, here we go. Let's get weird on Windwalker. Touch of the Tiger now increases the damage of Tiger Palm by 40% was 25. Hardened Souls now increases the crit blackout kick was this. Rushing Jade Wind's damage has been increased by 30%. Community with the Wind now increases damage to Strike of the Windlord by 100% was 80. Memory of the Monastery now increases Tiger Palm's chance to activate blackout kick by 25% was 15. Okay. Zwen's Bond now increases Zwen's damage by 30% was 15, making that talent a little bit better. Brawler's Intensity now increases blackout kick's damage by 12 was 15. Crane Vortex now increases the... Oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah, we talked about almost everything here on that Windwalker talk the other day. Like, they were very specific complaints, too. Okay, let's keep going here. But I don't want to take credit for that, because as soon as I do that, people will start getting mad at me for things being changed in a negative way. So we're going to stay out of that. Okay. Meridian Strikes now reduces the cooldown by double. Darting Hurricane proc rate has been increased. Martial Mixture now increases the damage of Tiger Palm by 8% per stack was 10, but can stack up to 30 times was 12. Yeah, they really want to double down on this Tiger Palm shit, especially with the tier. Chi Burst activation can now stack up to 2 times, and its duration has been increased to 30 seconds was 20. So now it can hold 2 charges, which will be really nice, so you don't have to just spend those all the time. But its damage has been increased by... decreased by 20%. And Chi Wave's damage buff by 80. That'll bring those a little closer together. Okay, Rising Star. Those points... always should feel better. Duration of Fury of the Wind stacking buff has been increased to 30 was 20. That's fine, especially in between packs. Whirling Dragon Punch now has a slight grace period. Will oh my god. Oh, this isn't good. I mean, they could have just changed this like without that talk, but like there's a lot of things on here that are fucking specific, man. Oh god. Like actually bar for bar. I don't know, like in the last like 3 years when they could have made this change, it could have been any of the weeks, right? It just happened to be this one. All right, fix an issue that caused Chi to drop below combat wisdom's threshold to start. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay. Fix an issue that caused first does not grant. Fix an issue that caused... Okay, well, moving on. Paladin hero talents. Buffs. Lightsmith. This was nerfed insane. Wrathful Descent now deals 100% of damage dealt to nearby enemies with Empyrean Hammer critically strikes with 80. Okay. Holy... Oh my god. I don't want to read any of this, but a lot of holy changes. Prop Paladin, who apparently need changes according to the tank community, just get a damage increase like every other tank, get mad. Okay. Ret. I like Ret. Wake of Ashes increased your damage done by 8% for 8 seconds was 10. Okay, just nerf the 4-piece. Blessed Champion now deals 25% reduced damage to secondary targets. Final Verdict reduced by 10. Reduce. Blade of Vengeance increased. Expurgation reduced. Divine Storm. Oh, Divine Storm by 25% is pretty fat. I don't know how little damage that was doing, but that's a massive number. Word of Glory healing increased 20%. Issue causing Radiant Glory to not function with fast back-to-back procs has been resolved. Okay. Priest healing done from Void Shift to the Priest allies is now capped at twice Priest health. Why would that matter? Is that a tank nerf, or is that a right? Because like that would the only time Void Shifting a tank is the only way where that would. Right. From Darkness Come Light does this. Cauterizing Shadows resolved an issue, fixed some things. Hero talent changes. Cool. Disc 5% damage increase. Holy Nova buff. Powered shield buff. Powered radiance cooldown reduction. Nerfed the bright pupil talent. Those two are probably related in some way. Abyssal Reverie now increases the atonement healing from shadow spells. Nerfed Abyssal Reverie. Fixed a couple issues. but also gave 2 talents are now 1 point. So we are getting some design changes this late into beta. That's really interesting. Are these talents that people take? Did Disc Priest just gain 2 talents, or did they do this to incentivize you to potentially take them? They're dead talents. Okay, cool. I mean, either one of those is good, right? Okay, Holy damage increase, Prayer of Healing and Circle of Healing by 30%. Some other changes. Trail of Light's a 1 point talent. Shadow, damage increased by 3. Dark Ascension, nerfed. Mind Flay, buffed. Mind Flay Insanity buffed. Mind Spike Insanity Generation, buffed by 50%. Mind Melt now stacks 3 times instead of 2. Now increases the critical strike chance of Mind Blast, 50% increase. Mind Flay and Mind Sear from Idle now deal damage 10 times over the duration, was 15. Mind Flay and Mind Sear damage from Idle increased by 50%. Okay, so it's... Why does the amount of times they do damage matter? Because it doing damage 15 times... Oh, it's an insanity gain nerf, I see. Okay, fix an issue causing Psychic Link to not always hit the max range. Cool. Okay, Rogue. Hero talent changes, which is probably good. They dislike all their hero talents, so that would make sense. All ability damage for Assassination buff by 10, auto attack by 10, Crimson Tempest by 8, Venomous Wounds, energy, so a little bit of energy economy buff as well. Outlaw buffed by 10% across the board. Ace Up Your Sleeve now grants 5 combo points, was 4. Combat Potency increases energy regen by 30, was 25. So energy, they increase the energy economy of Assassination and Outlaw, and then Subtlety just got a slight nerf. Shaman removed a couple unnecessary sounds and animations from Stone Bulwark Totem. I wonder what that... okay. Earth Elemental Summon no longer resets the swing timer. That's so random. I guess that's like an enhanced problem. Like if you ever Earth Ellie defensively, your fucking swing timer gets reset. That's like such a minor... Why would anyone even ever notice that? Fucking W change. Fix an issue causing this to transport. All right, hero talents. Changes. Some changes to hero talents. Let me see. Interesting. So they nerfed Tempest in Ascendance, I guess. Okay, enhance. Searing Volley damage reduced by 50. Searing Bolt by 50. Surging Bolt now properly modified by Nature's Fury and Fire and Ice. Same thing. Searing Volley is now properly modified. So all these are now properly modified by a few things. So main changes. Enhance is getting slapped back into the grave. Yeah, I saw some damage breakdowns that include Searing something being like a shitload of their damage. Which sounds like it wasn't intended to begin with, but... Resto, Earth Surge now. Okay, some Resto changes. Oh, Ellie, here we go. Nerfs across the board. Haste reduction from, I believe this is Prim Wave, right? Splintered Elements, 10% haste instead of 20. Lava Burst minus 25%. Ellie Blast minus 25%. Earthquake and Flame Shock reduced by 15. Liquid Magma Totem is now a 30-second CD, was 1 minute. Ice Fury damage increased by 85%. Holy shit, that must have been bad. Earthen Rage damage increased by 60. Additional Lava Bursts from Primwave now deal 50% of normal damage, was 80. Damn, huge Primwave nerfs. Damn, stay small, Ellie. Back to the bench with you guys, where you fucking belong. All right, Enhance. Oh, wow, they nerfed the haste from Splintered Elements, too, for Enhance. Okay, I will say, that kind of makes sense, because with it being a 30-second CD now, the power from Splintered Elements alone, if you were taking Primwave, was actually so obscene. And you'll probably still feel fast as fuck, but, I mean, I don't know. If you want to be a glass half full person, too much of your damage coming from random shit like this is something you don't want, so they can tune your actual abilities design-wise to do damage. But this close to the expansion, I certainly sympathize with all of you that feel like your class is going to be fucked with nerfs this late. I think it's true. If you feel like that's going to ruin you. But also, I will say people generally overreact to this kind of stuff until they actually see numbers, and also, like, Heroic Week will probably change a lot, but who knows? I definitely make sense. Max, the last 2 bosses in Nerebar Palace drop higher tier crest. Oh my god. We possess too much power. I am not responsible enough to have this power. Okay. I mean, that does just make sense, though. Like a Mythic plus, what is it, a 9 gives you Aspect Crest, but, like, the Heroic End Boss doesn't. When the Heroic End Boss is harder than the first few Mythic bosses. Like, the last boss or the last 2 bosses dropping Aspect Crest should happen. Wicked Cleave damage increased by 830%. That is a fucking big number. God damn, were some of these things bad. Okay. Other miscellaneous Warlock things. Affliction buff. But they're going to have to buff... Wait, Wither damage increased by 35%. I've seen a few breakdowns of Warlocks where Wither is doing a lot of damage. This fixed an issue must have been, like, really interesting. Wither was bugged and it was doing, and so they fixed the bug and now they're buffing it because okay, something like that. Warrior, shields, destruction, Chaos Bolt by 20, Shadowburn by 25, Conflag by 25, Incinerate by 15. So Destro buffs across the board, Demo buffs across the board, and Affliction buffs across the board. Okay. Warrior, Hero Talents, Colossus changes, Slayer, Mountain Thane, everything's changed a little bit. Arms, Mortal Strike and Overpower nerfed. Okay. And Shield Slam buff by 8%. Prot Warriors damage buffed by 30%. Revenge by 25. Execute by 50. Devastator by 25. Shield Charge primary target. And Ravager by 25. Okay, so massive Prot Warrior damage buffs. I'm assuming Prot Warriors were lagging behind the other classes. Because they all got 15% buffs and Prot got way more than that. Okay. Item upgrade system. Hero track loot from Mythic Plus now drops at a maximum of 1 out of 6. Was 2 out of 6. Get destroyed Mythic Plus players. And, well, I guess Raiders and Mythic Plus players the same. Mythic track has been extended to 6 steps was 4. This was already true. This is not new. Maybe this is like an official announcement of this, but this has been what this was already for like a month, right? Increase the item level of Mythic Profession crafted items to accommodate the increase in max level of the Myth track. Now items crafted with an enchanted Gilded Harbinger crest range from the item levels of 623 to 636 was this. Okay, so crafted gear will still be, is it 3 or 6 eye levels below max eye level? What does it get owned 90% of endgame players who actively play retail? It's 3. Oh man, crafted gear is going to be insane again. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see. Raid rewards. Starting a month after Season 1 begins, players may collect Nerebar Finery with Nerebar Palace to smuggle out their allies in exchange for additional power. Okay, so this is the raid benefit. So this is the, like, scaling Siege of Orgrimmar ICC raid buff thing, and they've now clarified that it's going to start a month after Season 1 begins. I think that's a good timeline. And this is intended to replace nerfs to the raid. Like, I think it's a good idea. Like, nerfing the raid and buffing your power incrementally, because that doesn't really happen with gear much anymore. Do the same thing, but a raid being nerfed in your face feels a lot worse than you getting stronger, for sure. So I think if you were to pick between those two, this is great. This was a Dratnos take that they, a long time Dratnos take that they have taken, which is good. Mythic mounts per kill increased to 3 was 2. Oh, that's a huge dub. That's a huge dub. To every guild, not even top guilds. Like, that's so good for just your everyman cutting edge guild. More sales? Not really. Like, it's most guilds struggle to sell as many mythic mounts as you can, because like if you're in a good guild, you're killing the end boss like four to 6 times a week on mythic. You're not finding 12 buyers a week. You don't end up even selling all of them. So that doesn't really change this at all, I would say. Like, maybe early in a season, but more than anything, it's gonna just make cutting edge guilds have to re-clear significantly less, which is very good. Queen Ansarek and Silken Court will drop additional upgrade crests from the next higher difficulty. In addition to their existing crests, for example, Heroic will drop 15 Ruined and 15 Gilded. It's gonna make... Oh, it's not even replacing the aspect... The crest is dropping. It's just dropping the War Within equivalent of Aspects and Worm's crests. It drops both. That's huge. That's good. I mean, that makes sense for the boss's difficulty too, so that's good. That's a great fucking change, actually. Great change. And then PvP changes. Wow. Does that mean you will get Mythic Crest week 1? I guess it does, right? If you kill the last 2 bosses on Heroic in week 1, you will get extra... Well, okay, you will get it, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, let's just say the cap per week is 90 that you can get. You could get 90 in week 1, but they're not available yet. So the next week, your cap will be 180. But if you would have killed the bosses previously, you might have 30 already. But you're not missing... The way the system is made, you're never behind on Aspect Crest ever. You can only... It might not even be extra. You might actually just earn 30 towards next week's cap. They might not even introduce the cap in week 1. So it doesn't matter either way. You're not going to have any power that someone else doesn't do eventually. Or maybe they just won't drop week 1. They could do that too. All right. This is huge. So what are the biggest takeaways from this? DPS Shaman nerfed. Bunch of Holy Pally changes. I don't know if these are good or bad. I don't know anything about this. Healer Priest buffs. Nothing to see with Windwalker, by the way. Nothing to see here. Nothing there. BM and Survival nerfed. Augmentation might actually be dead. I don't know about in raid, but in dungeons, I'd be really surprised if they ended up still being used. The only thing is, is they're still going to buff your healer and tank. That might be part of it, but they're going to be such a significant damage loss now. Like, they already are a damage loss. It's going to be way worse in the next expansion. So either AUG is going to be dead in dungeons, which people probably won't believe until it's true, which makes sense, or you're going to still run them, and it's going to feel so fucking bad. Because something that's different in the expansion is now keys scale harder than they have before, every key level, and deaths are worth 15 seconds instead of 5. So dying ever is bad. So if you can make your healer heal more, you may just do that, right? But they nerfed their survivability that you give the group by a shitload as well. So they definitely sufficiently nerfed AUG going into the expansion. I just wonder if it'll be enough. Couple other changes. AUG will still be needed. Yeah, maybe. Max, how do you feel about the Windwalker notes? Bro, I feel weird because there's a few things that they changed here that feel so incredibly specific and based on exact problems we brought up the other day when we talked about Windwalker on stream. And it's one of the first examples, I think, of me being pretty sure that they listened to that and it influenced their design. And I don't want that to be true, because if that's true, then people can unironically, like, not memeing, be mad that things are changed because I'm not talking about their class, right? And then I have, like, a responsibility to do that, and I don't want to do that, right? So then, like, I don't know. J-Funk was apparently already submitting feedback, so I doubt that that's true. Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right. It doesn't mean anything to me for that to be true. It's only bad for me if it is, so...